Joe Biden's finally pulled the pin.
He's realised belatedly that he was as popular as CrowdStrike, and his campaign was the political equivalent of the blue screen of death. 4 days after Biden campaign official Quentin Fulks was unequivocal in his assurance that Biden was in there for the long haul, Joe has seen the writing on the wall. Said writing has been out of focus for his ageing eyes ever since he was forced onto a stage in a presidential debate that was the most egregious instance of televised elder abuse since Happy Gilmore's grandmother went into that nursing home.
I'm so glad to see you.
I'm glad to see you too, Grandma. I've been thinking about you all the time.
Why did it take so long for him to
Because
quit?
once you've been on Air Force One, at least once you actually get there, it's difficult to slum it flying commercial. The president should have known the jig was up when he was abandoned by longtime Democratic fundraising powerhouse George Clooney.
See you when I see you.
The good-looking and charismatic actor started the revolution against Sleepy Joe, and as a result of his agitation, all eyes are now on what happens on August 19,
The Democratic National Convention.
which followers of the West Wing will know is the place where good-looking and charismatic actors do their best work.
I am a member of the Democratic Party.
The Democrats need a Jimmy Smith.
He is dreamy. I think they'll end up with Kamala Harris, though, despite the fact she's doing worse in the polls than the guy she wants to replace. Bookies have shortened the odds, reckon she'll make the Donalds sweat more than Joe. The Veep has one big advantage over other candidates.
Show me the money. Show me the money.
She can access the millions of dollars, probably tens of millions, that's already been donated to the Biden-Harris ticket. That money won't automatically flow to another candidate, and no money means no ad buy.
Insufficient funds.
Trump will likely be pleased if Harris wins the vote and becomes the Democratic candidate, first because he reckons she'll be easier to beat,
It's going to be so easy.
and second because it will allow him to indulge in his favourite campaign pastime of creepy lurking.
The slot that the Obamacare approach was to take. And like I say, and that means the insurance companies get to do pretty much whatever they want. All of those benefits.
The Democratic base will surely lock in behind Harris.
A lot of stock is being put in her ability to sweep the black and female vote, but it's a double-edged sword because her blackness and femaleness will solidify the Trump base.
You are the most wonderful husband and son I ever had.
I suspect Bison Man from the Capitol riots is not so much for empowered ladies and minorities. Key concern for Team Harris is whether organised Labor will throw in with her or look to an alternative.
Trade unions have a big say in Democratic Party decisions.
Unless they break the don't shit where you eat rule, which is just what's happened in Australia.
It's a bit nutty.
The CFMEU is persona non grata with the ALP, courtesy of the union's decision to sign up bikies, knowing that business would find negotiating with those guys about as relaxing as the opening 20 minutes of Saving Private Ryan. The West Australian branch of the construction union is one of the few divisions that isn't out in the cold. WA Secretary Mick Buchan celebrated that fact in a recent social media post in which he also accused the media and right-wing nutjobs for the ideological attacks, and reiterated that we have no tolerance for criminality in the union or the industry.
Bullshit!
You're obviously sceptical.
Let's have a look at Mick's CFMEU WA team. First up, we've got Brad Upton, who copped a $50,000 fine after losing the plot on a visit to the Wheatstone LNG project in the Pilbara. Brad wasn't pleased when he saw the office his meeting was to be held in, asking company executives who were there from the US, and I quote, "Is this shithole place acceptable to you? Is this shithole good for you f***ing Americans? This is not f***ing America. You think you can treat us like shit? We won't put up with you f***ing Americans here." Brad, who was tight with the gypsy joker bikie called Michael Van Dongen, then told workers who weren't members of the union, and I quote, "If you don't f***ing like it, f*** off somewhere else. We're going to put your names on the back of the toilet doors."
Well, we already know about Edmund Mangini.
One-time cage fighter, one-time sword boy gangster who a police prosecutor said was a standover man for bikies like Brad's gypsy joker mate Michael. Monty's facing 4 counts relating to an alleged violent home invasion a few years ago in Rockingham. Under Monty, we have Vinnie Molina, hit with 4 different sets of fines for making false statements, attempting to coerce strike action, unpaid wages, and organising illegal strikes. Vinnie's also the president of the Communist Party of Australia. And finally, we have Nathan Fish Fisher. who is a convicted armed robber.
Robbery! Robbery!
So yeah, I'm a bit sceptical at the CFMEU's claim to have zero tolerance for criminality. Not that having a rap sheet means you can't be an effective leader.
Black people walking around with my mugshot. You know, they do shirts and they sell them for $19 a piece.
I'm Ben Harvey. For more update, click the subscribe button below.